Randy Jordan may be the most controversial scuba diver in the state of Florida. It's not about where he's going or how he's doing it. It's what he's doing 100 feet below.
What do you tell people, Humpy? You're insane for doing this. I try to take this compliment.
The crate he's carrying with him is packed with fresh fish. Fish he intends to feed by hand to sharks.
Look at that guy. He's huge.
Sharks that could rip him apart if they wanted to at any moment.
I'm just giving him a little bit of food, not too much. I don't want to get too excited, too much of a frenzy.
That's me in blue to the left of Randy. There is no cage and no escape plan. And yes, there have been a few close calls.
That shark just knocked him right on the head. You have a tiger shark one time come up and kind of take me by the arm and drag me over to the food crate because I wasn't paying enough attention. I wasn't feeding her quick enough. The thing that was interesting, it didn't break my arm or scratch. It kind of surprised me.
And reality is, you never know what's going to happen on one of these adventures.
Don't stand up. Try not to get excited. Try not to scare the sharks.
We saw it firsthand when we joined him for a day. For $90, he takes tourists on a series of dives off Jupiter. The rules alone scare most amateurs away.
What they've taught me is that they just want the food. So you really have to make sure that the food's not on you or stuck on you or wrapped on you.
All you can think about here is, God forbid, the shark confuses me for food. Within seconds,
They're coming in all directions.
we are surrounded by sharks. And these are not the warm and fuzzy ones. In fact, I'm a little worried.
For the average person, swimming with sharks is crazy. But if you're a diver, you know, bull sharks, that's a whole nother world.
Bull sharks are the most dangerous sharks on the planet. They have the most testosterone of any animal. Great whites, made notorious by the movie Jaws, would be a more welcome sight.
I've lost count. There must be at least 5, maybe 6. I know that they're only interested in any food opportunities. That's all they do. That's what they're doing. That's what they're out there for. It's not a social event.
He spears a fish, bull sharks dart in after it.
Why aren't the sharks biting you? Well, I tell you, the sharks don't bite us because we're simply not on the menu. It's just not part of what they do. We're bigger and tougher.
I have to say, I feel small, and things would get even more intense.
This is the amazing part.
More on that in a moment.
Welcome to the Emerald, guys.
Randy's operation has been good for business. People come from all over the world to dive with him. Last year, the state of Florida took notice.
It was a witch hunt, really. So the people that don't like what I'm doing petitioned the FWC to make a case, and they made this huge sting operation called Operation Bite Me.
The concern was over whether Randy was putting divers at risk. If sharks associate divers with food, it could be a deadly mix and a PR disaster for tourism.
They don't associate the divers with food. They don't say, oh, well, gee, there's a diver, let's rush up and see what he's got. And it just doesn't happen that way.
Florida feels different about that. Since 2002, the law has banned the feeding of sharks, fish, anything while diving in state waters. Last year, in a sting operation, undercover officers recorded Jordan's operation. Using GPS data, radar, and a series of boats, they determined he was feeding the sharks 2.75 nautical miles offshore, roughly 5 football fields inside state waters.
The jury found Randy Jordan guilty on all counts of feeding sharks.
I was fined almost $3,000. I had to pay court costs. I'm on probation for a year.
The very next day after his conviction, though, he was back on the water.
The sharks don't really care if I'm a football field's length inside or outside. I just moved out.
He moved out of state waters and then discovered spots 3 to 4 miles offshore in federal waters where shark feeding is legal, and he also upped his game.
You're rubbing their faces. You're touching these sharks. It kind of slows them down a little bit and they relax a little bit.
As Randy feeds and pets, these sharks swim inches from your face. Personal space is non-existent.
I knew he would get close, but wow. Incredible. I've been around sharks, but I've never seen anything like this. They're coming in all directions.
It's uncomfortable and exhilarating. I wondered, though, what's really happening here. It's almost like a circus act. Multiple shark experts declined to talk on camera about Randy's gig. Stephen Kajira, a professor at Florida Atlantic University, explained why.
Sharks not only can learn, but they can remember. So you can train them to a certain task, And then literally months later, you can present them with that task and they'll do it.
In other words, these sharks very likely are being conditioned to associate divers, or at least Randy, with food. It's good because it gives people an opportunity to see nature up close. However, the more this behavior is learned, the more divers could be put at risk.
You've got the potential for someone to get hurt, and that's a risk they take, but it's always bad when a person gets bitten by a shark because it's often taken very much out of context.
What do you say to the people who are saying you are conditioning these animals to come to humans for food? Well, I think most scientists agree that the sharks are just here for the opportunity. When the feeding's over, they go back to their regular routine, regular business. They migrate, they leave.
As we head to the surface, most of the sharks did move on, but one did stick around. Was he unsatisfied or just curious? Very curious. Either way, it's not normal.